Okay. So how do we get to the main stage? Hi, we're still backstage, no? We're on stage. Okay, we're on stage. Go for it.
All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome. We're so excited to have you here today. My name is Mallory Lee of Client Success at Mowgli Technologies, headquartered in Niwot, Colorado. Today, we are talking about Grassroots Mobile Survey, the free offline and online mobile app for nonprofits. Before we kick that off, I'd like to chat a little bit about Mowgli, a little bit about my background. I am a prior music industry professional turned certified Salesforce admin. I now work as Director of Client Success at Mowgli, and we are a Salesforce native app that supports SMS and WhatsApp directly from Salesforce. We got started in 2011 with a nonprofit based in Kenya, helping Kenyan farmers receive text messages about the best ways to support their crops, prevent disease, and help their communities thrive. So we are really well known in the nonprofit space, and we're so happy to work with impact organizations. So happy to be here today. So now let's kick this off. I would like to introduce Trish Perkins, Beam Raj Mainali, and Shun Kosaka talking about the Grassroots Mobile Survey app. So we're introducing it to the nonprofit world for the first time today and are so excited to do so. Take it away.
Okay, let's see what happens when I do this. And then I go over here. Oops, that's not going to work. Hold on. Okay. So let's do, all right. Welcome to the introduction of our Grassroots mobile app. I just wanted to, first of all, here's the team that has been working on this mobile app. I'm a Salesforce consultant with clients in both internationally and in the US. Beam is the system administrator at Hayden Hall, which is a social and health services charity in Darjeeling, India. And we have 12 field workers right now using the first build of our app. And that is pretty much the app that we'll be showing you today. And then we have Shun Kosaka, who is a Salesforce architect and developer at Accenture in Tokyo, and he has mobile app development experience, and he is our Crackerjack mobile app developer. So here's the folks, you know, whenever you build some kind of mobile app like this or any software, you really stand on the shoulders of giants. And here's the giants on whose shoulders we are standing. Luis was our first developer. He's a Salesforce employee who showed us the proof of concept that we could build a mobile app like the one we were looking for. And then the MTX folks, Gaurav, Anmol, Umangshu, Kamal, and Diksha, built the first round of the mobile app. And we have to thank them for the work that they did so that we can be where we are today. So I want to start with the vision statement. All the world's field workers will have free access to mobile surveys that sync to Salesforce. So I'll be talking about sort of how we got to this in just a minute. But I also want to point out that all the photographs that are behind here are taken from our villages in India, where we are testing and using the mobile app that we're using today. So here's a statement of the problem. Salesforce is a great solution for the world's nonprofits. With its 10 free licenses, the back office is covered. But many nonprofits do need field workers, and they need teachers, and they need first responders visiting clients, visiting students, talking to beneficiaries about how they might benefit from other services. And there really is no free mobile app that helps them to do their job. So, and believe me, I looked for a free mobile app that would help them do their job. And so here's the solution that we came up with. Let's make a mobile app that's accessible to the smallest nonprofit orgs working with the grassroots. Mobile technology is everywhere. So let's just make an app that actually does what we need to get done. So this is a picture of where we have been in this journey. It actually started much even earlier than 2015 because I was working with a nonprofit in Nepal that serves disabled people, and they wanted a database of all the disabled people that were all through the hills and mountains of Nepal. They wanted a definitive survey of all those disabled people, plus the services that were available to those folks. And I thought mobile app is the way to go. Some villages in Nepal, you have to walk for hours, sometimes days, to get to a village. So they have no connectivity. They have phones, they have no connectivity. So we needed an app that had that was offline, that you could work with when it's offline. We also needed a way for the app to access Salesforce directly with one user. These folks are using 10 free licenses. And so that's what they can afford, nothing. And so that's what we want to bring to them, is a mobile app that allows them to use one of their licenses instead of having to buy more and more and more licenses. So in 2015, we started a pilot project at Hayden Hall with using paper forms, and also just using the database with the health workers in the mother and child healthcare program where Beam works, just the ones that were right around Darjeeling, because they were able to bring their paper forms into the office. And finally, the project director took me aside and just said, you know, Trish, this is not going to be useful unless we can actually collect data from all our entire catchment area, which is miles and miles and miles of hills and mountains around Darjeeling. And those ladies would take hours and hours to walk into the central office. So we wanted to bring the phone and the app to them so that they could collect their data in the field with the mothers and children that they are serving. So in 2017, Luis, our Salesforce engineer, built us a proof of concept. And then in 2018, MTX made this their corporate social responsibility. In India, all organizations above a certain income revenue level have to spend a percentage. It's kind of the 1-1-1 model, but India has made it a law that's called their corporate social responsibility. They did the first build. And then in 2019, we started testing in the field with 12 phones. And in 2020, Shun came on board and began to, and I think what happened was the pandemic happened. And so then nobody could actually get out to the field. And we said, we don't want to just sit here and stagnate. The great vision for this is to make this app available to everybody. All of the nonprofits that want them, they should be able to access a free app. So we have signed up for the open source commons, and we're working right now on converting the Hayden Hall app to a more generic app, and we'll be talking about that today. So now Beam, there's Beam helping one of our healthcare workers when we're out in the field. Beam is going to walk us through the demo of the mobile app, and I think you're going to talk about the users that are possible, and then go from there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you, Trish. So I'm going to start with our user story. Hayden Hall is a nonprofit organization based in Darjeeling, India. We have around 70 health workers who work in the remote villages of Darjeeling and Kalimpong Hills. They go around the village doing a door-to-door survey of our beneficiaries. And our beneficiaries include mothers, 0 to 5 children, and the elderly people. Before the app, we used to collect, the health workers used to collect data on a piece of paper, and then they used to compile it into a monthly report and then send it to us. So we were not able to measure the impact of our work and make decisions based on that report. So we came up with this app which would sync to Salesforce and which had the functionality to work offline, because most of the villages don't have proper internet connectivity, and so we definitely needed to have an app that would work offline. So now what the health workers do is they go around the village with their phones, and they do their survey, and then they save the information on their phone. And whenever they have internet connectivity, they just press on the sync button and send the data to Salesforce. Next, we are going to look at the app. We are going to do a demo of the app.
Okay.
So Trey, can you bring up the screen?
Yes, indeed. So just a second. It looks like my phone went to sleep. Okay. So you are now looking at my live phone, and what comes up when I finally come in, this is what happens when we have gone through the login process. And this is the screen that we see as soon as we've logged in. So do you want to describe what we're doing here?
Yes. So on the app, you get your own user ID and password, and so you use that credentials to log into the app. Once you are logged into the app, this is the survey screen that you are going to see, where you can see all the synced and the unsynced surveys listed there. So you can excuse me. So you can change the language of the app by using the small gear icon on the top right of the screen. Yes, Trace, can you just show them how we can change the language? So the place where we reside, most of the people speak and read in Nepali, so we have the provision to change the language to Nepali. And you can also log out from the app if you want to by clicking on the logout icon on the top left of the screen.
This is the log out button right here.
You can use the search bar to search the surveys that you've just done.
Okay.
And just below the search, you can see the sync button, and there you can also see the information saying how many surveys are listed for syncing, or how many surveys have not been synced to Salesforce.
So we actually don't have any that need to be synced to Salesforce, but we're going to do one, right, Beam?
Right. So to do a new survey, we just need to click on the small plus button at the bottom of the screen. And we are going to do, for the purpose of this demo, we are going to do a mother and child visit.
So
you just click.
Let me just show, yes, for instance, in Salesforce, we have all of the record type, all of our surveys are actually record types in our survey object. So there's our various record types, and then you'll see that there's our record types there. So I will get out of there and then come over. Which one do you want me to do? The mother child?
Yep.
Okie doke.
Okay, so you just need to click on the mother child survey, and then the form opens up.
Wonky thing with all my address. Everybody now knows what my address looks like. Okay, so I'll take test mother for today.
Okay, so you
and
just
then I'll click on the
information.
So usually when I click on the search button, I'm going to see all of the children that are in my caseload. Is that right? Or all the contacts that are in my caseload for each one of these fields. So I'll use Patty James in this case. And then we have the birth date of the mom. And you click up here on the year, and then you can come back down to the birth date of the mom. I'll make her my daughter's age, okay? And then the same thing with the birth date of the child. This child is going to be about, well, under 5 years old. So let's make it to 17. There we go. And then now you can see the rest of our data that we collect here. The visit, we have a visit date. Follow-up required in case we need to actually, unless there's some kind of problem that we need to do, the visit location. We have home or clinic or hospital. The child's current weight, which I'm going to say is 20 kilos. Whoopsie. 20 kilos. Okay. Now the road to health, we've been discussing the sustainability goals. The sustainability goals that the UN has set up for children is that they should be on the road to health as much as possible. So on the road to health, and I'll show you what that looks like. On the road to health, their weight is consistently up and up and up. And that's how we tell that a child is on the road to getting to 5 years old. And if they get to 5 years old, the UN tells us that the chances of them living out the rest of their lives it is greatly increased. So that's the point of this mother and child health care program, is to save these children between the ages of newborn and 5 years old. Make sure that their weight is on the way up. First degree is they're kind of sick. Second degree is they're more sick than that. And third degree is they're pretty drastically sick. So these are all degrees that are set up by the way the UN has us track that. So I'm going to say this child's weight is up. And we've got a bunch of illnesses here, but I'm not going to log any of those from there. I'm just going to say problems found, none. Oops. None for the day. And health advice given. And you see we've got suggestions. So this is all functionality that would be configured in your Salesforce and on your mobile app based on your program. This is the Hayden Hall program. What we're showing you now is what the Hayden Hall one looks like, but you can start imagining what this is going to look like for you. And we've got services provided, where they're being referred to, ongoing issues. These are issues that sometimes show up in the hills. And then this shows if the mother has actually left the program or is actually just pregnant. So we don't have the child for that. So I'm going to save this survey.
Yes. Okay. Once the survey is saved, you can go back to the survey and make changes to it by just clicking on the survey before you sync it. This has to be done before you sync it. After you sync it, you cannot make changes to the survey. So if you want to make changes, just go back and then just save it. If you want to delete the survey, you just swipe the survey towards the left, and you can see a delete button pop up. Yeah. So for now, we are not going to delete this survey. Instead, we are going to sync it and see how it turns out on Salesforce. So Trish, can you please sync the survey?
I will click the sync button. Absolutely. Yes, I do want to upload the surveys.
Okay.
So now, if I refresh my page over here, just takes a second here. Okay, so here's our survey. There's the mom. We needed follow-up as required, although we have a weight up and we don't have any problems. And you'll notice that the survey is it mirrors exactly what the survey in Salesforce looks like, because in fact that is where the survey gets its structure and its configuration is from our survey
Right.
object. And then what happens, Beam?
And the survey, so we captured the survey using our custom survey object, and from there we use processes and flows to distribute the data to the respective objects.
Okay.
Like there are some things that need to go to the contact, it goes to the contact. There are some things that go to our custom permanent record object. We send using flows. So that's how the data goes into different objects from there.
And the visit itself will be synced with the object client visit, so that we can run reports on how all of the healthcare workers are doing, using just the reports, just using Salesforce reports. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
So
Next.
I'm going to come down to Shun and present. So introducing Shun in his, we went to a party in Dreamforce a couple of years ago, and Shun came in his Japanese dress, and I love that picture. So I sort of twisted his arm a little bit to get him to go for it. Okay, go Shun.
Okay. Consideration Beam. In my part, I will explain briefly how this mobile app works and how to use it in your Salesforce org. This is the overall application architecture. And as Tracy explained, we do not have enough Salesforce licenses. So we need a mechanism that achieves managing multiple users, but connecting to Salesforce with single API user. So as you can see in this diagram, we utilize Heroku application as a mediator between the mobile app and Salesforce. The email and password of the mobile app users are managed in Auth0. This is working as an add-on application on Heroku. So as you saw in the demo, the mobile app first connects to Heroku with Auth0 credential. And then if it's successful, Heroku app connect to Salesforce with API user credential and returns the access token to the mobile app. So finally, mobile app can retrieve the survey metadata like page layout and field definition, and the mobile app can also upload the local surveys using the access token. Technically, this is built by Node.js and Express. So if you want to know about this in detail, ask me later. Or this is also open source, so you can easily look into it by yourself. Okay, please go to the next page. This is the data model of our mobile app. As we saw in the previous architecture, unfortunately, we cannot provide the Salesforce user for each mobile app users. So we use a standard contact object for mobile app user with a specific record type. And the clients, which are people who relate to survey, clients are also managed in the contact object with the record type. So for example, in our situation, the users are field workers and the mothers and the children are clients. And we use the custom object to manage the relationship between users and clients. This is the junction object. And this object is used to locate the client related to the logged in user in the mobile app and used in the lookup component to find the contact. So for example, if I am a field worker and user and Trish and Vim are client contact, there are two relationship records in this custom object. And when I log into the mobile app and tap the lookup component on the survey screen, the name of Trace and Vim shows on the lookup screen. So user can easily find the contact instead of searching all the contact in the Salesforce org. And yeah, we use the custom object to manage surveys. Yeah, this is uploaded from the mobile app you sold. And we also use the custom metadata to manage the localization in app fields and sections and messages. Yeah, as you may know, custom metadata is easy to configure and easy to deploy. So this is very useful for managing the user definition, localized messages. Yeah, go to the next page, please. So, yeah, now I can imagine that you are all thinking about how to use this app in your Salesforce org and in your device. And in fact, the mobile app, the generic version of the mobile app and the Heroku app and the Salesforce packages that contains the object I showed, everything is open source now. So you can try this mobile app in your device and do your Salesforce following the instructions on GitHub Wiki. But we just started this open source program, so please try our app and let us hear what you think. Any feedbacks, any feature requests, and maybe some potential bugs. And anyway, any contributions are welcome. So thank you.
Okay, so here's some additional resources that Shun has already said where the this is the GitHub link for it. There's a Power of Us group, and then there's my email there. This is being recorded, so you'll be able to see. You'll be able to come back and check on this. We are headed to the Open Source Commons Sprint in early February. And we are looking for people that want to get involved with us in bringing this app to its full potential. Shun has done a fantastic job of making this app generic and taking us to the next level. And we're going to need testers. We're going to need people who can write documentation. We're going to need help. And we need to expand our team here, and we invite all of you, anybody on the webinar here, to sign up for the community sprint and come to see us at the sprint, and let's get busy doing some more work on this. Okay, so do we have any questions? Tasha, have you come up with any questions? Anybody who would like to unmute themselves? Do we have questions? Oh, only type. Sorry. So type your questions in the stage area, I think. Is that right? Aha, there we go. I see. How are the translations handled? Custom labels in the Salesforce app or a more code solution? So we use the custom metadata to put the translations. We put the translations in custom metadata, and then in the settings, you can decide whether you want English custom metadata. That's correct. You can decide if you want to use English or if you want to use your own language. Yes, it is possible to have users fill out the survey on their own devices. Yes, indeed. In fact, we were planning to roll that out to everybody, all of them. It is, Shun, is it Android only now, or have you already expanded it to iPhone?
Yeah. The app is now works in iOS too. Okay.
So is there a reason this was not developed in a cross-platform environment? In order for us to be eligible for the open source commons, we have to stick with Salesforce products for that interim the junction object that goes between the phones and the Salesforce. So that's why we went with Heroku. How is it looking to contact names? So the names are stored in the custom object that shows the different relationships. So we have the field worker, and then we have all of the relationships with the mothers or the children in that object. And so the app goes to that object and stores the caseload in the phone. So that's how we can get the surveys connected with our mothers and children, is that they are brought in through that relationships object. Is the app a generic one in an app store or loaded in some other way? What we're hoping for is that the app is going to be on the App Exchange in the Open Source Commons store. That's our main goal, is to be able to download it from the App Store. On the other hand, there's a goody. Corey says there's a level of trust and sustainability that we want to strive for. So the requirements to join our program are coming up. Is the app a single form? Oh no, it handles multiple forms as thank you, TJ. It handles multiple forms because each different form is a different record type of our survey object. So that's how we do different multiple forms. There we go. Thank you, Corey. Peter, the app will be able to be installed via the salesforce.org meta deploy. How is it loaded onto the form? You
phone.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. What did I say? Phone. How is it loaded onto the phone? There is a link to load the app onto the phone. There, thank you. Via the Expo app instead of the App Store, but it will be available, we hope. So Sebastiano Costanza, do try it out. It's there.
Another question from Sheila: does the app support doing conditional survey items or validation?
So at the moment, we don't have conditional survey items in there. And Sheila, if you are interested in getting that done, why don't you join our team and you can help us to improve this app. We want to be on a constant improvement track, and we're going to need more people to we need more people to help us do things like that. Exactly. So
looks like we have another question from TJ. Is that custom survey object a required part of the form, or can you use existing custom objects? And guessing that Salesforce.com automation and flow needs to be created by nonprofit as the form behavior, and which objects and fields is needed to talk to is going to be specific to that org.
So I'm not sure I understand your question, TJ. The custom survey object is part of the yeah, it's a part of the Salesforce installation, and then the phone talks to that survey form. The cost is free. It's going to be free. It will always be free. It's going to be in the Open Source Commons, and one of their requirements is that it has to be free. But I've been I've been clear about the fact that we need this to be free anyway. So, but I do want to stress also, this is free as in free puppies. There will be post-install config. We need to set up the flows that are going to work. It is a choice to develop in native code or to use an open source cross-platform. May not be only linked to this specific project, just in general. So I'm trying to figure out what we're doing here. It sounds like Salesforce data like contacts are attached to the survey, are stored locally on the phone. So you open up this to your configuration through the junction object that sets up relationships, and then when a survey is completed, we have created flows, and there would need to be flows. That's part of the post-install config. Flows need to be created that then take the data from the phone, from the survey, and distribute it throughout the organization to the other objects in the system.
Question from Peter. So is it limited to the current custom objects and fields? Could it be extended for each org separately?
Well, I think it will be. It will have to be extended for each org separately. What we have is the basis. You know, we've got we've got a survey custom object. We've got just exactly the data model that Shun came up with, where we have a relationship object, so that you've got your caseload attached to your field worker, whatever that is, and then that syncs back to the survey object. So after that, extending it to all the other configurations in the system is that's the next step that will be in the post-install config.
Are there any other questions that you would like the panel to answer? And that question goes out to our audience here. Any questions from the audience?
I really appreciate very much all the questions that we've gotten. That's a really that was a really lively amount of questioning. Please do join our group on the Sprint and come help us with this.
It looks like we have another question. When does the list of contacts, for example, mothers on the phone, get updated?
So Shun?
Yep.
When do the mothers get updated? When do the contacts on the phone get updated?
Only the survey will be uploaded to the Salesforce now. So yeah, the contact record is downloaded when the users logged in. So yeah, uploaded contact is not supported yet now.
Or when the app is synced, the new contacts automatically get added to the app.
Sorry,
yeah,
but only downloading. Yeah, I mean.
So we have another question from TJ. What do you need as far as roles of people to help with getting this off the ground? So, for example, sorry, I just saw some additional feedback from TJ. So do you need developers, testers, sysadmin, document writers? What are your needs?
And I think Corey answered that question, all of the above at this point. The three of us we're the team. We need to get more help on all levels. So TJ, come and join us. You would be super valuable. We would love to see everybody that's asking such great questions. Come to the sprint. Hang out with us. Let's figure out what next steps are here. We want to get this going.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I think we're at our time limit here. Although we can answer apparently, if we do have more questions. Tasha, do you see any more questions that we need to answer?
Captured everything that I could see in the chat.
Oh, how are users granted access? They're granted access in, they have a login and password to Heroku. So they have to log into Heroku and they have to be authenticated through Heroku. We put them in and they set their password and they come into Heroku, and then Heroku goes to Salesforce as the API user. So we want to thank all of our champion sponsors. These are fabulous. We couldn't do it without you. Here's our ladies who are holding up the phones that we had for them. And these are the ones that are in the field now. That's me over there in the corner. That's and everybody else. Those are our health workers that are out there doing the work to save those children. And thank you for coming. Please return back to the reception area. The icon is at the top left of your screen. See you at the next networking, collaboration, and learning opportunities. Hashtag nonprofit Dreamin. Thank you all for coming. This is wonderful.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Namaste.
Namaste.
So, leave.